Today we're looking to have the biggest turn possible with Zada, all on just a 18 rare budget. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. So this week, as we wait for Tarkir Dragonstorms to release, we are heading to Brawl to combo off with Zada. So if you don't know Brawl, it is my favorite arena format to play when we're waiting for a new set to drop, when Standard's kinda salved and we're waiting for the new cards that are gonna release in the near future. Brawl is just my favorite place to play because you can do some ridiculous things in the format. So the goal today was really twofold. So first, I wanted to try to build a super cheap Brawl deck that would be a great intro deck if you haven't played the format before. Second, the deck had to be fun and do spectacular things, and I realized we have the perfect commander for this in Zada Hedron Grinder. So Zada, it's kind of an infamous budget commander in the commander format because Zada itself is a cheap uncommon, and the cards that synergize with it tend to be cheap commons and uncommons. So our deck today, 18 total rares and mythics, which is a pretty great deal for a format that requires 100 singleton cards. Like, it's pretty common for a Brawl deck to have like 50, 60, 70 rares in it, and our deck is 18 total. So let's talk about our Zada deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, see the deck in action. So our commander, Zada Hedron Grinder, is really what this deck is all about. This is a deck that is all in on the commander. So it's a 4-mana 3/3. This says when we cast an instant or sorcery that targets only Zada, we get to copy it for each other creature we control, and then each of those creatures get targeted by the spell once. So what do we need to do to pop off with Zada? And really there's 3 things. So step 1, we need Zada, of course. Step 2 is we want as many creatures on the battlefield as possible, because the more creatures we have, the more value we get out of Zada's ability when we cast a spell that targets it. So if you look at our creatures, there's really kind of 2 groups. So first, we get a bunch of goblins. Zada's a goblin. This lets us have some synergies like Skirk Prospector to make mana. Cranko can make a bunch of goblins. So cards like Beetleback Chief, just for 4 mana makes 3 goblins, or Hordling Outburst for 3 mana makes 3 goblins. Really, really good in our deck. Group 2 is cards that put multiple creatures on the battlefield. So for this, we have like Forbidden Friendship, 2 mana make 2 1/1s. Row Reinforcements, same thing. Rally at the Hornsburg, same thing. So basically, cards that make multiple creatures, really good with Zada, because that's multiple creatures to benefit from its ability. So let's assume we get down to Zada, we have a few creatures on the battlefield. Step 2 is cast spells that target Zada. And here we really have 2 groups of spells, I'd say. First is card draw effects, and these are some of the best cards in our deck. Something like Ancestral Anger, 1 mana, pumps a creature, gives it trample, more importantly draws us a card. So if we have Zada in a few creatures, we cast Ancestral Anger for 1 mana, and we draw cards equal to the number of creatures we control, which is often refilling our hand for 1 mana. Same with Crimson Wisps or Expedite, Might of the Meek. Then we have cards that make mana and target a creature. So for this, it's stuff like Ancestor's Aid, 2 mana, pump a creature, make a treasure token. And this turns into a ridiculous ritual in our deck. Let's say we have 5 or 6 creatures, we cast this for 2 mana, and then we end up making 5 or 6 mana worth of treasures, which lets us cast even more spells and have this huge combo style turn. So we can't just win this way, like make a bunch of creatures, cast a bunch of spells, find some pump spells, Fists of Flames and Lunar Frenzies, make our board win and win that way. So that is one possibility, but we also have a couple of finishers that really send the deck into overdrive and let us have this massive combo turn. So first, we have cards that let us reuse our graveyard. Past in Flames, Mizzix Mastery, Underworld Breach. These cards just let us recast all of our Academic Disputes and Expedites and treasure producers like Ancestor's Aids, and let us just not really go infinite, but have this huge game-ending turn. The other cards that are really important here are our extra mana and spell producer. So Runaway Steamkin, Burgie, Storm-Kiln aren't is actually the best because it has Magecraft, so it triggers whenever we cast or copy a spell. So if we ever have Storm-Kiln with Zada and some creatures, every time we copy a cheap spell, we're going to get a treasure, which just lets us a lot of times play through our entire deck if we want to. So these cards just make the combo turns even more spectacular. Another new card that I'm really hyped about in this deck is Frontline Heroism. So this came from our new Jumpstart set. It's a 3-mana enchantment. When it enters, you make a 1/1 soldier with haste, and then whenever you cast a spell that only targets a single creature, like Zada for example, we get to make a 1/1 soldier with haste, and we copy the spell to target it. So this is almost like a backup Zada. It's not as spectacular, but we have some pretty good turns when we have a Frontline Heroism, no Zada, and a bunch of these spells in our hand. So that's another way that we win the game, is just amping the combo into 5th gear I guess the gears end at 4 in Magic. Ramping our combo into 4th gear, because then we're at max speed. And being able to just have this huge combo turn to win. The last thing I wanted to mention, we do have one backup combo, which is Dual Caster Mage with Electro Duplicate or Molten Duplication. If you've never seen this combo, the idea is you cast like the Molten Duplication, targeting whatever, and then you Dual Caster Mage to copy it on the stack. And then you can use the copy to copy the Dual Caster Mage, which again, copies original, copy Dual Caster Mage, essentially get infinite hasty Dual Caster Mages to win the game. And this combo is really easy to slot into the deck because Molten Duplication and Electro Duplicate are some of our best cards with Zada anyway, because they only target one creature, and then they make a copy of that creature until end of turn, but Zada will copy it for all of our creatures. So essentially for 2 or 3 mana, we just copy all of our creatures on the board. And then of course, those are more bodies, so it's more triggers with Zada as we cast our other spells. So Dual Caster Mage is essentially like one slot in the deck, and it gives us some chance of having this weird backdoor combo that can win out of nowhere when things go wrong. So anyway, that is our 18 rare Zada deck. That's our budget Magic deck for this week. So let's jump into some games and see Zada Hedron Grinder in action. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Budget Magic time. We are doing some Zada brawling. See how big of a turn we can have. This hand, ooh, we have Frontline Heroism. That is the new card that I'm most excited to try in this deck. We have 2 lands. We're going to keep this hand because I want to try out Frontline Heroism. But I will say, this is a deck that mulligans fairly often, and we're playing Brawl, so you get a free mulligan, so take advantage of it, because we really want a mixture of creatures and spells. That is mainly what we're looking for. We need, if we have all spells or all creatures, it's very awkward, so we really want to mix. This hand, it kind of has the mix, but really, I want to see how good this Frontline Heroism card is. Opponent playing some Samet, so probably like a hasty aggro deck, I would assume. Typically, Samet's like a bunch of haste creatures, and apparently, Terramorphic Expanse. Well, another land is good. Gonna play a tap land. Hit us down to 24. Molten Duplication. That's a card that can do some things. That is a card that can do some things. Also, that's our Dual Caster Mage combo piece. I don't know what the odds are that we actually combo with that, but, well, let's get down Frontline Heroism. Make a 1/1. So Frontline Heroism, it's kind of like mini Zada. Whenever we target a single creature, we copy the spell and make another 1/1 to target with it. Not going to be as spectacular as Zada. Zada is so insane, but opponent Bramble Familiar. Well, it's been nice that we've just hit our land drops. I think we play Beetleback Chief first. If we draw a land next turn, we can go Zada turn inside out and just smash for a ton of damage. Oh, we're so close. Opponent Ruby Dairy Tracker. And there's the Samet. We really want our creatures, so try to avoid chumping with this deck, because we really want as many bodies as possible. Opponent gets to draw a card. Sure. Plays a land. It seems weird to target your own creature with a threaten effect, because gaining control of your own creature doesn't do anything. But if we target one of our own things, we make 2 treasures. Making 2 treasures for 4 mana doesn't sound great. We also get another 1/1. But those 2 treasures hopefully let us pop off next turn. I think if we draw a land next turn, we just win, because we can Zada into Molten Duplication into turn inside out. Actually, it might even be easier just to turn inside out in Teamer Battle. We have many. Oh no. Ravenous Sailback can blow up an artifact or enchantment. Well, there goes our Frontline Heroism. It did a bit of work though. All right, let's just draw land. Let's just draw land and end this. With Zada power, opponent gonna get in with the Samet. Sure. Doesn't get to draw a card this time. We want our creatures. Opponent. Ilzengary added. Yep. Well, okay. Ooh, there's the land. All right, it's party time. Zada. And now we get to see the reason to play a Zada deck. Do we win no matter what we do? I mean, we definitely win if we just go turn inside out Teamer Battle Rage. Everything gets +3/+0. Everything gets double strike. Molten Duplication is funny, but we don't have enough mana. Yeah, I think we just swing. I think we win here. I'm pretty sure. They're only 1/1s, opponent. I wouldn't worry about it. All right, opponent gonna block and block. Well, turn inside out on Zada, which means we actually turn everything inside out. So +3/+0 to everything, and a little bit of manifesting when stuff dies. And now, Teamer Battle Rage, do a little double striking. And trampling. Copy it for everything. And this should be lethal, right? I mean, I never do the math. That's the blocker's job. But I imagine this should be lethal. Opponent. Down to 11. Oh, that's just first strike damage. That's just for... Oh, they're certainly dead, right? That's definitely... That should be enough. Well, there's a random dork. Not that it matters. An opponent. Done. Diddly done. And Zada. All it takes is one turn with Zada most of the time. Sweet, sweet. It is budget magic time. We are doing some budget Zada brawling, and this hand looks pretty good. A mixture of lands and spells, plus we can faithless looting to find even better lands and spells. Oh, that's treasure production. Well, Restless Charge and Teamer Battle Rage I think can go. Restless Charge easy because we can flash it back anyway. And we have treasure production, which can lead to some big turns. Well, let's just run out the Rhyme Rock Knight. Been a while since I've seen a Rhyme Rock Knight. That card used to be good in standard. Adventures. Opponent gonna do some exploring. Also, opponent's on Goshen Tai, which I'm actually kind of scared of. I feel like Goshen Tai is a really strong commander. We'll see how this goes. The good news is it's Curse of Silence, opponent. I almost don't know why they have this card legal in Brawl. Because you can name commanders with it. Yeah, opponent's gonna name Zada. So now Zada costs 6 mana, which basically adds a commander tax. Yeah, get in, hit you. I'm not saying it needs to be bad. It's just funny because in Brawl they ban like Pithing Needle because it can shut down your commander. They ban Drannith Magistrate because you can't play your commander. So it's weird that Curse of Silence is the one that kind of gets the pass. Well, opponent gets their Goshen Tai. We are going to do some crank-going. The problem we have right now is we don't really have any card draw. And the other problem we have is that our Zada costs infinite mana. Thank you, Curse of Silence. All right, let's see what our opponent can do with their shrines. Captain Sisse. Well, okay, that's a good way to find shrines. Tutors up any shrine. Well, there's another land. I mean, I guess lands aren't the end of the world because we can get to 6 mana and play a Zada. I think we faithless looting, though. We can't really kill the Curse of Silence. Ooh, Expedite. Well, we're going to discard the Burgee, sadly. Do we? I want to discard a land. Maybe we shouldn't have faithless looting there. Yeah, all right. Let's discard the treasure production. I think we'd rather have the card draw with Expedite. So if we can get to 7 mana, we can Zada Expedite, refill our hand. We also get to start making not a huge amount of goblins, but we get to start snowballing Krenko. So we should have a lot of bodies by the time we get down Zada. Actually, we probably just play Zada next turn and hope they sack the Curse of Silence to draw a card, so it's gone if they can kill Zada. Opponent. Captain Sisse. I mean, I imagine it's a shrine. You could get any legend, I guess. But if you're playing Goshen Tai, Sanctum of All. Okay, that makes sense. Sanctum of All. Yeah. Well, now our opponent has Shrine of Monicon. Goshen Tai triggers. Passing. Well, let's do a little crank going. Make a couple goblins. Do a little burning. I mean, maybe we can win without Zada this game. Maybe. All right, scry 1. I guess that's something. If they kill Zada, it's very painful. I'm very much rooting for them to sack this Curse of Silence. So they can sack it to draw a card, or they can keep it. The problem is if they keep it and they kill the Zada, then Zada's 8 mana, and we're probably never getting to 8 mana. Then we really are all in on Krenko getting us there. Well, all right, opponent sacks it, so we get a Zada. Paying it for 1. Well, now we see if our opponent has removal. They get to tutor again. I guess we tap this now, so they can't do anything in response. So it's kind of working. The general in Krenko doing a lot of work. About it, untaps. What legend can they tutor up with Captain Sisse that blows us out here? Like, if they just keep getting shrines, that's fine, because I'm pretty sure we just win the game next turn. Because we can Krenko to give make a bunch of goblins. Expedite gives everything haste, and then even like we're gonna draw a ton of cards. Wow, yeah. Life gain, I mean, it's just gonna be a little bit too slow unless you have a Wrath here. If our opponent has a Wrath, they probably win, because I'm not sure we can actually rebuild. We definitely can't rebuild fast enough to beat the shrines. Well, all right, Captain Sisse. Do they have a legendary Urza's Ruinous Blast? That's a legendary Wrath, right? Calyx. Okay. So opponent finds a removal spell. They might be tempted to take Krenko. Wow, okay, going after the general. I mean, I guess all of those things are bad. Well, okay, that's fine. We want to do cool Zada things anyway. Well, I think it's party time. It's party time. So, Krenko, make a few friends, and then we'll play a mountain, and then we'll do some expedite. 1 mana draw 19, 20? 1 mana draw 20, I think. Yeah, 1 mana draw 20. Pretty good common. The sad thing is I'm not sure opponent's gonna actually stick this out. They have to, oh, there's Lunar Frenzy too. They have to see the writing on the wall. Yeah, about it. Well, we didn't get to draw a 20, but that's what Zada does. In Brawl this week. In this hand, as long as we hit our land, is kind of sweet. Oh no. Oh, Faithless Looting, the betrayal. Ruby Medallion's really good in this deck. However, it requires mana to cast. There is a downside to these Magic the Gathering spells. They cost mana. Ruin Lurker Bat. Oh god, life gain. Okay, well, I guess the Faithless Looting kinda got us there-ish. Let's just get down the Ruby Medallion. Making Zada cost 1 less is nice, and then all of our spells costing 1 less is also nice. Knight of Dawn's Light. Opponent hits us to 24. Yeah, let's get down Storm-Kiln. Get down the Rime Rock Knight to get a counter on the Storm-Kiln. I mean, so we need 2 more red spells to make 3 mana with Storm-Kiln. If we can draw a land, this hand's actually kind of close to popping off. Hot spot mechanic. Oh, case of the Gateway Express. All right. That's unfortunate. Now we are much further away from popping off. Opponent gets in, hits us. Yeah, we kind of wanted that mana. Oh, we were going to draw the land too. We can play Burgie, but we can't do anything else. We can Hordling Outburst to set up for Zada next turn. Burgie is really good because it's essentially another 1 mana discount on all of our spells in a weird way. Yeah, let's just play Burgie. Play Burgie and pass. So like next turn we could play Zada, get a mana from Burgie, play Blazing Crescendo. Although we really want like 2 more turns because we really want to play the Hordling Outburst first. Like Blazing Crescendo 3 creatures, not that exciting. Well, they want to solve the case. I guess we block the hot shot mechanic. I imagine this attack is just them wanting to solve the case and not a shenanigan. All right, well, I mean, mechanic down. I guess we're doing it-ish. 10th District Hero. I remember I thought that card might be good, and then no one ever played it. Well, case solved. Opponent gets to do a little bat scrying. Just a little bat scry to the bottom. Well, we draw. Ooh, the general. Well, I mean, I guess we can general into Hordling Outburst. Oh, all right. Soul Perdition on Burgie. That actually is really, really bad. It doesn't matter for this turn. We still get to play the Hordling Outburst. The problem is it makes next turn a lot worse. Because what we really wanted to do next turn was Zada, Burgie mana, Blazing Crescendo, draw 6, and then hopefully hit something to keep going. Especially with the Ruby Medallion out. Like, all of our 2 mana spells are 1 mana spells, so, well, hit you down to 27. But without the Burgie, now we really have to draw land. Found it. Gonna grow the hero. Smash us, make a token. In lands, we trust. If we draw land, maybe. Maybe. All right, that's a land. Well, let's see what happens. Without the Burgie, this is still very sketchy because now we run out, right? Yeah. We need that Burgie mana. So we can attack him Blazing Crescendo, but I don't think we quite have lethal. And then without the Burgie, we don't have the ability to cast another spell, even though we're going to draw a ton of cards here. Impulse draw a ton of cards. Yeah, I mean, Crescendo the Zada. We'll see what happens. I think maybe we should have played this differently. I don't know. I think we die anyway. The problem is we could play defense, right? And try to block our way through it. But if we lose our creatures, then Zada stops working. So I don't think chump blocking through it's actually... Well, okay, we drew pretty badly anyway. We didn't even draw any spells. The opponent goes to 10. In theory, we're not dead unless our opponent plays Adeleine, then we're dead. Let's see if our opponent, do they see the line? Adeleine does give them lethal, even through the Zada. Yeah, all right. Well, Monowhite. Actually pretty good. They can't beat a Rune Lurker back, apparently. Ouch. This hand's kind of interesting. It's a little light on spells to target Zada, but we have a Mizzix Mastery, which is a card we haven't seen yet. And I feel like Mizzix Mastery, if we can get to the late game and actually cast it, the stuff that card can do is kind of insane. Wily Goblin, make a treasure. Opponent, Windswept Eve. Gets a Triome. All right, well, play the land. Oh, what do we want to do? Let's get in for one. We can play Burgee this up for next turn. Kranko's command makes the most immediate bodies. Yeah, let's make bodies. Make bodies past the turn. About it. So I don't think we can, even if we draw land, we don't win next turn. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Pretty good card. Those Overlords, not bad Magic cards. Well, opponent, Uninvents. We draw, ooh, Underworld Breach. That does literally nothing at the moment. Well, I guess Burgee attack go. So does this mean, can we win next turn? We have 4 mana, we have a Burgee, so Zada makes back 1. If we draw land, we can Fist of Flames, make back 1. Maybe. Okay, Key to the Archive. Well, this means we want to try to win as quickly as possible, because you can get some busted stuff off Key to the, in the Archive. About it. Yep. Discard some Mana Rock, get some busted card from the past. Well, there's a land. Maybe, actually, do we have enough to win? I mean, I guess we're gonna see what happens. Zada. I would prefer to win now before opponent untaps with whatever they tutored up. Fist of Flames? I have not done any math here. This is might be our last spell unless we don't. If we had a 1-mana spell, we would likely win for sure. Not a 1-mana spell. Not a 1-mana spell. Also not a 1-mana spell. And that's Pinnacle Monk. And okay. Well, let's attack. Actually, wait, is this 20? Okay. Well, I guess we had Xaxes. Zada's kind of busted. Sweet. Doing some Zada-ing in Brawl this week as we wait for Tarkir Dragonstorm. Oh, that's going to be so sweet to finally release Vicious Rumors. Opponent's playing some Ob Nixilis the Adversary. Well, let's discard the thing with flashback. Land, go. This hand's not bad. We got the Burgee. We got some bot. It's not fast because our tokens production's on a 4-drop, but in theory, like tokens, Zada, draw a bunch of cards. Is this a discard Ob Nixilis deck? Interesting. I don't normally think of discard when I think of Ob Nixilis, but I guess its ability is kind of discardy. Let's see if they have red mana. I mean, how do you play Ob Nixilis and not just casualty it out on turn 3? Opponent gets and hits us. They got to give up their tiny bones, but I imagine double Planeswalker. I actually don't know if we beat double Ob Nixilis here. I mean, Zada can beat everything if we can stick it, but they are a color combination that's going to have removal. The easiest way to beat this deck, if you run into a Zada deck, you just kill the Zada. I mean, Rasser also, I guess there's 2 ways. One is if you keep creatures off the battlefield, non-Zada creatures, then Zada does nothing. The other is you take and just keep killing the Zada, or both. But yeah, that's the way to do it. Removal beats Zada. Opponent, double Ob Nixilis, and a Little Devil. And they're up to 28. 2 turns from now might be pretty big. Unstoppable Slasher. And opponent gonna take up. We're gonna take it. And opponent also gonna take up. We will take it. Rouse Reinforcements. That's actually not the worst. So now we can, since we do Rouse Reinforcements, we can play Rouse Reinforcements, make 2 1/1s. And then we can fall the hammer. We can fall the hammer to get rid of the Slasher. And then try to attack down the token Ob Nixilis, I guess. So Burgee, kill the Slasher for now. Unfortunately, our extra mana is going to go to waste, although fortunately, next turn could be pretty cool. I mean, the dream is if we can play Zada and untap with it, with this Electro Duplicate, oh god. Oh, opponent, get a block. And snipe one of our ones. Yeah, we might have to wait another turn. The Devils. Devils good at sniping our 1/1s. Actually, maybe that was a punt. It's a very small punt, but I guess we could have killed the Slasher and then attacked and then made the token after. That probably would have been better. Well, sorry, Goblin friend. I mean, I guess we can still do a mini Zada where we play Zada and just like Crimson Wisp, draw 3 and maybe find something. All right, it's a mountain. Yeah, not as exciting as we were hoping, but Play Zada, get back mana. Crimson Wisp, essentially free on the Zada. Make some Burgy mana, copy, draw a card. Okay, that's a land, not good. That's a Wily Goblin, not great. Storm-Kiln Artist. I mean, Storm-Kiln Artist is probably the second best card in our deck. It is amazing, but we don't really have any spells to cast from them at the moment. See if we can kill an Obnixilis. Definitely better to kill the non-token one. Opponent going to value getting rid of the Burgy. Okay. That actually makes sense. Burgy is also very good. But thankfully, we have the Storm-Kiln, which is an even better mana engine, so losing the Burgy doesn't actually hurt that much here. Slasher, coming back next turn, getting rid of those stun counters. And Defiler, interesting. I thought the Defiler cycle might actually be good too, but did not end up doing much. Elderfang Disciple, basically a Bugler Rat. Opponent. Couldn't resist. Makes the Devil. Oh, okay, that's actually a great draw. Well, check this out. This is the power of Storm-Kiln Artist. So now we play Storm-Kiln Artist. We Academic Dispute, which isn't as good as drawing a card, but Learn lets us loot. So we're going to be able to copy it. Every copy triggers Storm-Kiln Artist. So we make 4 treasures. Now we get to loot 4 times to find some sort of card draw effect. Okay, Mountain, not card draw. I guess something that's lethal would also work. Gamble, not the time for gamble. Gamble with 1 card in hand is not a good idea. It doesn't win. Actually. So let's us scry a bunch of times. Actually, we can Electro Duplicate first. Actually, maybe this does let us win. Let's see. Electro Duplicate. Copy everything. Storm-Kiln. Gonna make a ton of treasures. Sadly, we don't get a second Zada. We do have to give that up because of the legend rule. But now we get to go to combat and swing. Everything's gonna get +3/+2. Is this enough? Wait, do we actually just win? Man, Zada's so good. Zada's so good. We didn't do a whole lot this game. Our opponent's at 32. I mean, I don't know if they literally... Do they literally die? I don't think they literally die. Well, we target the Zada. Everything gets +3/+2. We get infinite treasures. And opponent scoops it up and Zada power. Sweet, 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 sweet. Oh my god, what are we up against? Mythweaver Pock. Okay, we have ventured into the realm of alchemy. Let's see how busted this is. Yeah, we're gonna mulligan. I like the Ruby Medallion. We're very late on creatures, but we have a Faithless Looting. So Mythweaver Pock, I've never played against this card before. I imagine, considering it's an alchemy legend, it probably does something absurd. Opponent, Beseiju and Llanowar Elves. And wow, Flare Cultivation. All right, that's pretty good start. Well, playing the land, get down the Ruby Medallion. Opponent, Savala. Sadly has too much toughness for us to kill with this Unholy Heat. Well, I guess we just Faithless Looting. Discard, I guess, definitely Reckless Charge. I guess just both flashback spells make sense. Yeah, I mean, play the land, and I think we'll just looting again. Get rid of the Battle Rage, get rid of the Unholy Heat, which apparently doesn't kill anything. Pass the turn. Well, all right, opponent. Oh, Mythweaver Pock. So whenever they play a land for the first time a turn, they get a copy of it? That's actually obscene. Wait, and then the land comes to play untapped? What? What is this? Who made this card? Wait, that's like turn 3. My god. What is happening? And I thought Zerda was busted. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, I guess we route reinforcement. How can we do this? I mean, we could Pinnacle Monk to get back something. Yeah, let's Pinnacle Monk. Pinnacle Monk. Let's get back the Electro Duplicate. Oh, we're pinched on mana. Ancient Green Warden. Sure. Oh, land. I'll make 2 of those. Yeah, and trigger my Bristly Bill a few times. I can't believe that land comes into play untapped. What an absurd ability. Wait, so the first time you play a land any turn, you get another copy? A shy? What a... I mean, I also think we're seeing, like... Well, it has to be one of the most insane draws our opponent's deck could have. Like, turn 1 Flare Cultivation, turn 2 Savala, turn 3 Mythweaver Pock, into Bristly Bill in the same turn, and now there's a Green Morton and an Ashaya? Oh, we are getting stomped! All right, can we win the game this turn? I think the answer is no. We have a single Pinnacle Monk. Yeah, we just don't have... We don't have any mana generation. Like, we can play Zada... And then we could play Might of the Meek to draw a couple cards. We could play, yeah, I'm not seeing a way out of this with the cards that we have. We needed like some sort of Burgy Storm-Kiln, some sort of mana piece, I think, to have a shot. But yeah, opponent, there's no path out. Well, that Pock thing, kind of busted. Whew. Ooh. Storm Splitter, eh? This hand looks pretty sweet, actually. Sand, actually, outside of wanting another land or two, Grinning Ingus, spicy. Outside of wanting more lands, this hand is pretty much what we want. We make creatures. We got a bunch of card draw. We got some pump. We gotta stick a Zada. Also, we're up against Simic, which the big challenge for this deck is Zada dying, or creatures dying. I feel like Simic that's a land. Ooh. Maybe we can use Grinning Ingus as ramp. Let's play the Grinning Ingus. But I feel like Simic is one of the colors combinations least likely to just wrath our board or kill Zada a bunch, which is good. And Riss. Well, all right, you are going to draw some... Oh boy, we got lucky. Land, can we win this turn? So we pick up Grinning Ingus, we have 5 mana. We play Zada. I mean, we got kind of lucky to draw 2 lands in a row, but then we can't play anything. I guess we just Storm Splitter. Yes, go ahead. We're not paying the 1. Our opponent's actually probably going to draw a bunch of cards if we pop off. Hit ya. So I think we need 1 more land. So Grinning Ingus technically makes 2. I guess we could have Zada and picked it up and had 2 mana. But then we wouldn't have the Storm... Ooh, Gatebreaker Ram. Okay, that is fine. That is fine. Rally at the Hornsburg. Do we just play Zada? You know what? I don't think they can kill it. We're just going to set up for next turn and trust that next turn is going to be the turn. And no attacks. All right, opponent. Kill us, kill the Zada. Do something, because next turn is going to be big. Next turn might be spectacular. I guess I could have fight. Okay, 6, sure. I mean, 6 is a very good card. It is a very good card. And a Hedge Maze. And Das Boots on Das Ram. Sure. I mean, yeah, you can stay on defense, but I don't think it's going to matter because Witch's Mark, one of the best cards in our deck. Yes, opponent, you can draw with heuristic study. We get to discard 1, draw 2, 5 times, and we get a roll on each of our creatures. And this is going to hopefully draw us into treasure production. If we hit treasure production, then we just go like pseudo infinite. If we don't hit treasure production, then I guess we'll just win. Okay, none of that makes a treasure. There's only a handful of cards that can make a treasure and target a creature. Samet Sprint. Well, discard draw. Let's discard. Draw a bunch of lands. Well, we might just be winning. Discard draw. Well, I guess, yeah. Samet Sprint. Not gonna pay the 1. Pump the team a bit. Make some Storm Splitters. This deck's so brutal. If you can't kill the Zada, it is going to kill you. We're just going to leave whatever on top because we're just killing our opponent here. Out of respect, we will not scry a bunch of times for no reason. Plus, it increases odds of our opponent scooping before we actually get to attack. All right, Salmon Sprint's resolved. We'll go to combat. And then Fist of Flame. And opponent. Oh, our team was going to get real big. Opponent scoops it up. Heuristic Study, good card, but it's not a Zada. What are we up against? Some Monowhite Voltron. Interesting. Opponent doing some mulliganing. Our hand, interested to see the artist talent. That is one of our precious rares. With only 18 rares in the deck, each one, we gotta really want it. Ooh, Runaway Steamkin. Runaway Steamkin, one of our best cards. I'm curious, we haven't seen artist talent much. Is it worth the slot? Opponent, gonna run out their commander. play a mountain. And, I mean, let's get down the artist talent. Pump the Storm-Kiln. And I think we actually do some attacking here. If our opponent wants to trade, we just blow them out with Samet. With Samet sprint. Found it, takes it. All right. Well, I think we Faithless Looting mostly to pump the Storm-Kiln. We can discard the Ghost Quarter. Draw 2. Discard Electro Duplicate. And I guess Dual Caster Mage. I don't know if we're ever going to see the Dual Caster Mage combo. I think it takes a single card to add to our deck. So I think it's worth it. Just have the off chance that it happens. Well, that's kind of a combo now, isn't it, opponent? Luminarch Spirant, counter on the commander, tap the commander, draw a card after hitting us, and opponent plays a land and passes. Sundering Eruption actually has value as a spell, but I think we need a land more. Because we're going to run out Zada, make some mana with the Storm-Kiln. Now we can play Kranko's Command. Loot away the Grinning Angus. Draw another mountain. Well, I mean, I guess we get in some damage. Samet Sprint. Haste him up, pump him up. Grow the Storm-Kiln. Maybe we can just win the race. Pyro to the bottom. We want card draw. Valakut Awakening with one card in hand. Not exactly card draw. Skirt Prospector, good, but not at the moment. And, well, we get to discard the land and draw a card draw. More mountains. Ooh, Mold Duplication. Oh, that is fancy. That is fancy. I guess we keep it. Well, I mean, we're going to go to combat and smash it for a bunch. Not lethal, but a big attack. Condemn? Oh, boy. Oh, that one hurt. Oh, okay, I was not expecting Condemn. We could have played around that by not attacking with Zada. I just did not have Condemn on my radar. Well, the problem here is the Molten Duplication suddenly becomes very bad, to the point where we might just be Faithless Looting it away now. Oh, and swords. Opponent Monowhite control over there. And they have the combo where they get to draw an extra card every turn with this Luminarch Aspirant. That is actually kind of rough. Opponent gets it, hits us. Down to 22. Well, there's a very sad Molten Duplication. Can we level up Artist Talent? Do we even care? Yeah, all right. Let's just Faithless Looting. Loot away a land. Draw another mountain. Well, Faithless Looting. Ooh, Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach might be able to do things at some point. We're gonna have to do a little graveyard check. 10 cards in the graveyard, pass the turn. So what can we do? Oh, Dual Caster Mage, Molten Duplication. The problem is we need 7 mana because we have to play the Breach in the same turn. That is a way we could win, though. Pearl Medallion. I wish we had one of those. Ruby Medallion would solve all of our problems. Oh, Sheltered by Ghosts. That's kind of awkward. Yeah. I imagine this is our Artist Talent going away. Sheltered by Ghosts gets rid of the Artist Talent. So we need 2 more mana somehow before we die. Hits us. The good news is our opponent gaining life doesn't really matter. Because if we're going to win with the combo, Reckless Charge. Oh, do we just have to pass? Yeah, we really would have liked to draw land there. Land would have been super helpful. If I had known we were going to draw Breach, maybe discarding the second land, maybe we should have... I don't know what we could have done better there. But I do regret discarding those lands. The way this played out, I regret discarding those lands. We're going to attack. I imagine it's free damage because our opponent's going to be too scared to block. That is an upside of playing a deck with a bunch of pump spells. You can trust that your opponent is going to be too afraid to block and chip in for some damage. Although, I think we're in some serious trouble. Opponent, Luminarch Aspirant. And draws a card in response for some reason. Oh, all right. Shenanigans. Untaps it, pumps it. Good thing there's no commander damage, but we're kind of just dying to normal damage from the commander. And now our opponent can draw even more cards. The synergies. The synergies. Oh, we can't even steal it. That would have been sweet. Yeah, I think you got it. Yeah, I got it. They had the answers. Kill the Zada. You beat the deck. This hand, interesting. A lot of creatures, no spells, but Underworld Breach too good to pass up. Well, I mean, I'm glad we got to see some of the games where things don't work too. Because that is like the risk of Zada, right? When it works, oh my god, it's one of the most busted things imaginable. But if you kill the Zada a few times, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. Opponent, Arcane Signet. So opponent, Mr. Olifos the Boulder. Gonna kill our Iron Magnite, sure. So opponent, ooh, frontline heroism. Okay. This is the card I'm really excited about, but since it's in the 99, we don't see it all that often. But I feel like it's gotta be one of the best Zada cards they've printed in a long time. It's like so perfect for Zada. It makes creatures, it works with our spells. Dry to the Hills and Grove. So I imagine our opponent's kind of a aggro deck would be my guess. So you have a commander that's about doubling power, I imagine. Oh, Beseju. Well, all right. At least we get a land out of it, which is not bad. The land can get us to Zada if we want. Well, I mean, we're gonna play Zada. Opponent's only got 2 cards in hand. If none of those cards kill Zada, life is good. Igra. Okay, that's big. Ooh, Electro Duplicate. And we have Dual Caster Mage, but we need 2 more mana. Yeah, I mean, let's draw a couple cards. Maybe we just draw into... I mean, we can draw 4 this turn. This is like... this is about as bad as Zada gets. 1 additional creature on the battlefield. But still, Might of the Meek... Oh, do we just copy it to get another body? Yeah. I think we can just win with Zada rather than waiting for the combo. So let's Dual Caster Mage. Copy the Might of the Meek. So the copy won't trigger Zada because it wasn't cast, but this gives us another body. So now we're going to draw a total of 4 cards this turn. So copy it for the Dual Caster. Copy it for the token. Ooh, wow. Molten Duplication too. Well, play the land. Do we just draw more cards? We do have this Breach in hand. So discarding a hand size, not the end of the world. Yeah, let's Renegade Tactics. Draw 3. Hordling Outburst and Teamer Battle Rage. All right, well, we drew a lot of cards. We didn't actually damage our opponent at all. Let's get rid of Grinning Angus and... Yeah, let's go Grinning Angus, Electro Duplicate, because we can flashback Electro Duplicate anyway. Plus, we have Molten Duplication in hand. I don't know. Choking Miasma. Okay. That's actually, I was not expecting that, but that is actually pretty good against us. Grows the Igra. Puts us down to just a Zada. Thankfully, Zada lives. If Zada died too, oh god, we'd be so done. But thankfully, Zada's still here. We can rebuild relatively quickly with this hand. It's us. We're just gonna take it. Zada must live. That is the first rule of playing a Zada deck. We draw a Mountain. Well, let's play the Mountain. This might just be a setup turn. I think this is a add some bodies to the board turn. So let's play the Burgee. Play a Forbidden Friendship. Is Molten Duplication worth it? Actually, we can just do a Breach here, right? Yeah, let's Breach. So we Breach, we get the Burgee mana. So I think we're just going to draw a bunch more cards. We're just going to draw... So this Breach is not going to win us the game, but the Breach is going to draw us like 8 cards and hopefully set us up to win next turn. So flashback Might of the Meek. Exile, exile, exile. Trigger Burgee, trigger Zada. So we get to draw 4. I mean, our board's getting to the point where if we just draw some pump spells, we should just be able to win next turn. So Might of the Meek. Draw 1. Draw 2. Storm Splitter. 3. More tokens and more mountains. All right, well, let's do it again. Run it back, Might of the Meek, exile, exile, exile. Save the Electro Duplicate, because we might actually want to cast that. Trigger Burgee. This is probably where the value train ends. Draw a General. Ooh, Carry Zeb's Expertise is kind of hilarious. Carry Zeb's Expertise looks weird, because usually you want to play it on your opponent's creatures, but... Actually, we can turn Inside Out, too. We hit another 1-drop. We might as well. Keep the party going. We're going to discard a hand size anyway. But Carry Zeb's Expertise, we can target our own creature, copy it for Zada, and then we get to play a 2-drop for each one that resolves for free. Oh, just kidding. Fatal Push. opponent's gonna take 6. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's a Storm-Kiln artist. Okay. Yes, we would like to manifest red. The second best card in our deck. Okay. Odds of winning next turn, if we're still alive, is very high. This also lets us Might of the Meek again. We do have to exile the Electro Duplicate. We're gonna do it, though. We have Molten Duplication still. We just want to sculpt the perfect... Now that we have the Storm-Kiln artist, we just want to scrap the... sculpt the perfect hand and guarantee that that hand is going to win us the game next turn. Well, draw 4. So we drew, what, 12 cards this turn? All with Might of the Meek? All right, well, let's choose 7 cards to keep. So Bone Duplication for sure. Battle Rage for sure. Carries up Expertise because it's spicy. I guess Flare? Land. Yeah, we'll keep the General. And I guess Storm Splitter. Sand's actually, well, actually, is it good enough? We don't really have any pump. Well, okay. There's the boulder. I mean, so our opponent can get in a big attack because they get to double something's power here. The problem is they probably got to put on Dryad, right? If they go on Aggro, we have to jump Aggro either way. Yeah, all right. So jump the Tiger. Drop to 10. Well, let's see if we can get lethal. Well, okay, some learning is actually not bad. I mean, the thing is, now we have the mana production, though. Thanks to, it's kind of funny, I think our opponent lost to this Manifest Dread. If we had not Manifested Dread into Storm-Kiln Artist, I think we might not have been able to win here. But with Storm-Kiln Artist, every spell we cast makes 3 treasures, so we just get to cast everything. Well, okay. Do a little triggering, do a little learning. We can start looting away, well, make some treasures. We can start looting away creatures, because we're not going to be playing creatures. We're going for the win. Storm Splintered out. We want more spells. Dragon Fodder. Well, let's discard the General into a Faithless Looting. Unfortunately, our board is very legendary, which makes Molten Duplication a little more awkward. Yeah, let's put some Faithless Looting. We can always flash it back anyway. So Dragon Fodder is essentially free, because we get a treasure and a Burgy mana. Then we can Molten Duplication. Also, not even for free. This is going to make a ton of mana. Trigger, trigger, trigger. And then we can end by, we can carry Zev's Expertise the blocker. And then double strike everything. And I think that should, I mean, this is the power of Storm-Kiln Artist. When we have Storm-Kiln, we get to do everything. We get to do it all. Opponent. Yeah, grows a Tiger for the legend roll and scoops it up. The only downside of this deck is we don't get to see its full glory because people scoop, but sweet. We are, up against Yarok, one of my all-time favorite commanders, Panharmonicon on a stick. Ooh, all right, frontline heroism. And we got a gamble. We can take a gamble. I mean, this hand's, I think, actually pretty good. Play the land. We're not going to gamble at the moment. I don't want to discard frontline heroism. Opponent, Scryland. So opponent should be ETB focused. Sultai ETB triggers. The land's good. We get to get down frontline heroism next turn. I mean, our opponent could have answers. Sylvan Caryatid. Well, play the land. Frontline heroism. Make a 1/1. And yeah, no point in even bluff attacking when we're tapped out. So, I mean, even with just frontline heroism, like Crimson Wisp becomes 1 mana draw 2, which is actually still very good. Not as insane as if we have Zada. When we have Zada, oh my god, we've seen what happens then, but found it. A little ramping, a little card drawing. Plays another Scryland. Well, there's an Expedite. Well, this might be a little mini combo turn to try to hit our lands. So let's Crimson Wisp. Target the soldier, make it red, copy it. All right, there's a land. And, okay, well, there's all of our lands. Playing the land. So if we play Fall the Hammer on a soldier, we copy the soldier, get another fall, and we get to kill the 1/2? I think that works, right? Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yes. Technically, Fall the Hammer targets 2 things. Oh, yeah, it's not as good as that as I was thinking, is it? Yeah, because you target your thing and then your opponent's thing. So that's why it didn't trigger our enchantment. Well, here's Yarok. Pretty good, pretty good. Well, let's see what we find. I guess we can expedite right now. Well, we have a Renegade Tactics. Do we want to wait and try to Zada first? Yeah, let's expedite. Let's expedite and make another body. Might as well use our mana while we can. Draw 2. Well, play the land. And yeah, I mean, let's do some Zada-ing. And then Renegade Tactics, draw 4. Actually 5. Actually, wait, 6. Do we draw 6? Because we get an extra I think we draw 6. Because of Frontline Heroism. Because we get the body and a copy from that too. I mean, we're not dealing a ton of damage here, but we're drawing a ton of cards. Runaway Storm-Kiln's not bad. Ooh, Witch's Mark. All right, well, we will just pass the turn. Do a little discarding. I think we're done with the gamble. I don't think we need the gamble anymore. Yeah, I guess we just discard a bunch of, keep all the spells. I think we're just kind of going for the kill. Kind of going for the kill next turn. Because we have Storm-Kiln as a mana engine now. We have card draw and pump. Like, if our opponent doesn't kill our stuff this turn, next turn is going to be wild. Bristlyville, good card. No ETB though, kind of a weird Yarok card. Maybe they have stuff that puts counters on things. Nick though, so I guess, okay, so I guess it actually makes sense because Yarok double triggers the landfall. Yarok's getting big. Up the beanstalk. Well, okay. This might be it. We'll see if our opponent sticks it out. A lot of opponents just scoop. But this turn might be pretty spectacular. This hand has literally everything. It has everything we need to have a huge turn. Opponent does have Nick, though, still, that they can activate. The problem is they only make green mana, so unless they have some weird fight spell, they shouldn't be able to kill the Zada, and okay, opponent passes. Well, all right, let's see how big of a turn we can have. So step 1, Runaway Storm-Kiln, so we can start making mana as we cast our spells. Step 2, Witch's Mark. Our best card draw spell on Zada. Oh, this is so good. Zada and Frontline going at the same time. Well, let's start discarding creatures because this game's ending this turn. Hopefully. So Witch's Mark. Discard a card. Draw 2. Get the roll. And oh, we're just drawing our deck. Discard draw. And discard Pinnacle Monk. And draw. Discard a mountain and do a little drawing. There's Blazing Crescendo too. Discard and Mrs. Mastery. Discard and draw. And there's a Storm-Kiln artist. Last one. And opponent's sticking around so far. Discard and draw. So now we Salmon Spread on the Zada. Copy it for everything. Make another token. Do a little scrying. To the bottom. I'm not even sure what we're looking for at this point. To the bottom. Definitely Forbidden Friendship. Maybe more card draw is good, I guess. Treasure production. I guess we can just keep turning inside out. That seems fine. I think this game's ending no matter what we do. I don't know if we can make a choice so bad that we don't win here. Unless we stopped arguing or Zada wins things. All right, Samus Sprint. Now we will do a little gambling. Mostly just as a 1-mana spell to trigger the Storm-Kiln. And we will take... We're going to discard it. Oh, Molten Duplication seems hilarious. Let's take Molten Duplication. Discard... all right, we weren't going to get enough mana for Mastery anyway. Well, now we get to make Storm-Kiln mana. And... Felonious Rage, the Zada. I think we're just going to politely kill our opponent here. Yeah, make a few copies. Grow the board a bit. Yeah, our opponent's been nice enough to sit through this. We could just keep spinning our wheels and going and going and going. I think our opponent's been nice enough to sit through it. We'll just end it. Team or Battle Rage. Grow the team. Trample it. Double strike it. And we're going to get in for a wee bit of damage here. Just a little off the top, Yarok. Just a little off the top. Oh, Zada is a It's a magic card. My goodness. I wanted to say thanks for sitting through it, but they don't have an emote for that yet. Well, here comes the team. Found it. Would you like to block? Double those counters. Double up that Yarok. And good game about it. Thank you for actually letting us deal a bunch of damage. And opponent blocks with Yarok, does some bristly bill blocking, but in the end doesn't even matter because that is a lot of double striking trampling threats, and that was just first strike damage. It would have been twice as much. Well, Zada. Sweet. So what did we learn this week about Zada Hedron Grinder on a budget in Brawl in overall with the deck? We went 11-7 for just over a 60% win rate, so the deck actually works pretty well. I will say, the thing about Zada, and if you build this deck, you need to know this going into it, it is very much an all or nothing deck. If you watch our games, either the deck is like spectacular and we have these ridiculous turns, or we also have games where our opponent just kills Zada a couple times and we kind of don't do anything because our deck is very, very dependent on having Zada on the battlefield. There's not really a great backup Zada. The closest we have is Frontline Heroism, which was really, really good in the deck, but it's one card out of 99. What are the odds that we find it? So it's very much an all or nothing deck. The good news is, as we saw in the videos, the all is really spectacular. We had a bunch of like turn 4, turn 5 kills, which if you're a standard player, probably doesn't sound that exciting, but winning on turn 4 or 5 in Brawl is actually not all that common. And we got to see just some ridiculous turns where Zada comes down and we just draw the cards, make all the mana, make the biggest creature, smash our opponent to death. So the games where it works, it is super, super fun and hilarious. And it works actually a pretty reasonable percentage of the time, like a 60% win rate or slightly above is actually very, very solid. So I gotta say, if you're looking for something different to do on Magic Arena while you're waiting for Tarkir Registore to release, give Zada a try in Brawl, because the deck can really do some spectacular things, and it's super cheap to put together. But anyway, that is Zada in Brawl. That's been our budget magic for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.